All right, good morning, beautiful people, and welcome to our Sunday, September 27th team hangout. Zoom has changed its features, and because I do not have a password on this meeting, everyone has to go into a waiting room, which is really interesting. So I may have to change this link and just have a password on it so that I don't have to worry about a waiting room, because you can only turn it off if you have a password on your meeting. So good morning. I see Margot. I see Sarah, Max. Nice to see you, Max. Michelle. Clarissa's on. Angie is on with a picture in my basement, but she's not in my basement. So I do know that much. All right. So a couple of things I wanted to just quickly mention before we open it up to questions and things like that was, the first one was, Margot, thank you for the positive kind of kick in the pants that everyone needed in the chat the other day. And we always want everyone to know that we all go through the ebbs and flows and the ups and downs and the I'm not even going to use the word harder, just the more challenging times of life, right? And I know for many people, this September was a challenging time of life, getting back into kids' schedules and school routines, and what does that look like, and all of those new components to life. And it can be really overwhelming. So don't ever feel like you're alone in that, right? Like, we all go through it. So what I love about our community is just that we have the just the energy, right? The energy, the desire to do better. And so even though we might be in that moment of like, okay, right now I'm really not feeling my best, not feeling this, not, and doing that, we have this place to lean where we can get that positive energy. And so I'm really grateful, Margot, that you kind of took the bull by the horns on that one and gave us all that little kick in the butt that we needed. And then Clarissa, I know you guys probably don't know this, but I know this, that she is not a fan of making videos, and it's something that she's always kind of asked me to do. And I think that some of her limiting belief of having her accent, and when she first moved to Canada, it was something that was mentioned to her frequently and made her uncomfortable. Right. So thank you for sharing your video and talking to the team from the heart and just giving some tips from Emily's call. And hopefully we will get a recording for it so that everyone can.
We got it. I just found it. I'm going to share after the call.
Yeah, that's awesome. Angie, for those of you that don't know, Angie Bellmare's Facebook account was hacked.
Now she's angry.
So she was actually doing all of her daily grinds as Andre. And I kept like, why am I seeing all these daily grinds from Andre, but it's Angie talking? And then she posted as Angie, but it's like a brand new Facebook account while she's waiting for her Facebook to kind of sort out what happened with her account. So I think that's why there's been a lag in getting her video, or getting her Emily's video. Sorry, I totally blanked there. So those are just my words this morning. I think the intermittent fasting group went really well. Margot, I still have not had a chance to watch your video, so I apologize about that. I will watch it. I promise. I know, loser, right? Okay. Like, I have, all this time in the world. Well, I should have watched your video. I don't like the word should, so I will get to it. I have my list of 5 videos that I need to watch, so today, so it's going to be a watching day while I'm getting some work done. Thank you for your help with that group. I think from my feeling of the group is that it's something that I think people want to continue in that group, but I don't want to invest a ton of time in it. So I'm going to go through and message all of the people that I connected with. I am going to do a video in there today, just kind of wrapping up the group. And there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. I think it was like frequently asked questions and like things like that, just resources and tools where they can go and find information on it. And it was so interesting because I was actually chatting, and Max knows Natalie. I was chatting with Natalie about intermittent fasting the last time I saw her, and she's the one who I did my uh, life coaching course through. A friend of ours, fitness instructor, and she's also a neuro-linguistic programmer. So she works with like how we speak to ourselves in our head. And I got to be part of her study or her master's program on that. When I was talking to her about intermittent fasting, she's like, isn't it so interesting how something that we've been doing as humans for however long and now needs a name, right? Like this is not a new thing. Stop eating at a certain time, start eating at a different time. Like it's just not new. And she's like, I've been doing this for like, I don't even know how many years. And there was no name. It wasn't intermittent fasting. It was just like what I felt like was common sense to stop eating at a certain time. And that we were laughing about that. So thinking maybe like one goal post for the week, Margot, like a picture that says like what's your plan for, you know, the hours you're gonna commit to fasting for the week, and then a check-in at the end of the week. I don't think there's anything much more than that needs to go in there right now, unless we come across resources or we can share recipes in there if we wanted to, those sorts of things. But I'm going to reach out to all of the people that I invited in and just chat with them and follow up. And those will be conversations that I can have with people finishing September and going into October. Right. So that's kind of all I had this morning in terms of just news and things like that from the team. And now it's your turn. What's going on? I just about started singing. Who sings that? What's going on? Right? What's going on? What questions do you have? I can share another little story if you want to hear it. I'm going to teach Zumba at my school tomorrow for my staff. But this is the cool part, because we can't all go in the gym. There's too many of us. And this all came about because on Thursday night when I was teaching, I was in my favorite song. It's like the song that speaks to my soul. And I saw my mentor, like my Zumba mentor's name pop on to my class. And I just felt like all these emotions come out, and I totally started crying. I'm sure Sergeline has done this before when you're teaching Zumba, like sometimes the emotions just come out. I don't know why. It's just, for me, it's so like freeing. Michelle, maybe you've experienced that too, right? Like where it just is like such a release. And so my principal at my school, I'm actually friends with. And so I messaged her right after. And part of it was like, one of my love languages is physical touch, and I miss hugs so much. I miss hugs. Like when I hug with every like ounce of my being, and I so miss that. And it's weird for me to see people. So like, I feel like I have to sit on my hands, because otherwise I'm so tempted to just like go in for the hug. Right. And I miss that. I miss my mom. Like it was just a huge emotional thing. And so I messaged my principal and I was like, okay, so we have a Pro D day on Monday, and I know we can't all dance in the gym, but my school is very interesting in the fact that our gym is a fishbowl in the middle of the school. And by fishbowl, I mean the whole thing is surrounded by glass, right? So it's like, I've never seen anything like it in my life. And so in my head, I was like, okay, I can be in the gym. I can do it on Zoom. So if teachers aren't comfortable dancing in the gym, they can hop on their Zoom and turn their camera off. So they do that. But then I'm like picturing people dancing around upstairs in the hall and around the gym, and down in the basement, like down on my level, around outside the windows, and then some people in the gym with me. And I was like, how cool is that going to be? So I'm curious to see how many people show up. But so I can teach for 45 minutes tomorrow morning. But I'm very excited to actually dance with people instead of in front of my freaking computer screen. Where I'm like, oh, look at me go again. Wow, that's awesome. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Something to look forward to for the week for sure. Certainly, are you like teaching in person, face-to-face now? Or on Zoom?
No.
It's all on Zoom?
All on, I don't know how to mute. Oh.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, no, I'm not teaching. I was teaching Zoom, and I don't know, I got really bored.
Yeah.
Nobody there. it's hard. I got really bored. Like I like to see people's facial reaction. I like to stand next to people and, pump them up, and it's not the same.
No.
So, if a gig comes up, I don't say no, but I don't really go for it. I
Yeah.
really do Zumba on my own at home with
Oh, okay.
myself.
Oh yeah, I do that too. But it was,
Yeah.
it's so interesting how different it is. I mean, I'm grateful for the fact that I get to dance with people that I wouldn't get to dance with normally because they live far away or right, they're somewhere else, and so there's a lot of faces I never would have met before. So that part of it, I have my regular ladies for sure that come, and it's nice to see them, and they're so funny because they're like, no, we want to pay the regular amount, and I was like, you guys, you're not paying, because I charge like $10 a class, right? So I'm like, you're not paying $10 for a class for a virtual Zoom, like, come on. No.
Yeah, I was doing it for older people also. So I was like, just hop on when you can. I start at 11, just hop on.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the same because I couldn't like go over there and be like, you gotta lift those legs up a little higher, or
Yeah, for sure.
And
We
it was
get
a
so
lot of
much energy from our people. Like I
yeah.
remember, like in class, people saying to me, "Oh, thank you. I get so much energy from you." And I was like, "Well, I hope you know that I'm getting it from you too. Like I wouldn't be
Right.
able to
Yeah,
give
it
it
is.
if I wasn't giving it." So watching myself dance on a screen is just not not the same by any means. So anyway, that's my news for the week, and I'm excited to actually dance with people tomorrow. How is everybody else doing? Thoughts, things that you would like help with? Anything?
I have some. Well, not a thought, but I guess I'm progressing little by little by little by little, and I don't want to push myself because then I get all overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I go on Instagram, I get these questions because I try to post almost every day. Well, I do post every day of my workouts, like what I do. Not post too much so that way I get questions and then, try to lure people in.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest thing is I get like most commonly the same kind of questions. So I figured, why don't I just put up a video of me saying something, but I could never get myself to come on and say anything on Instagram. I'll post like quotes and comments and how I feel, but I feel like it's not the same because I would meet people and tell them exactly how I feel, and it's a different reaction from what I post on my stories, like what I would type on my stories.
Yeah.
So my goal is to like try and put up a video of me actually, trying to, connect with people.
Right. So are you going to aim to do it in your story?
No, I'm aiming to record
Oh,
it in
okay.
the
Put
not
it in your
yet.
feed.
Not yet. Not even on my feed, like watching myself do it so I can feel comfortable, like, all right, I can post this. So
I would recommend then the first step is just talking in your stories, right? Just do videos of you talking in your stories because it's gone in
it's so
24 hours.
hard. Like every
It's
time I
gone.
do it, I'm like, delete, 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 and
Yeah.
delete.
No, I know. But honestly, just challenge yourself to leave it there once. It's the stories is the easiest one because it's, 15 seconds and it's gone in 24 hours. So that it could be something simple like, do you guys see me working out? Do you guys work out at home? Right? Those sort of, and then put a poll on the little video question, and then it could be a 5-second video, right? We think we sound terrible, right? I don't like watching recordings of myself. Or when I phone and listen to my voice recording on my answering machine, like I'm always like, ugh, that's what I sound like, right? Because that's not what we sound like in our heads. But yeah, so just challenge yourself in your story, and then just leave it up there for.
I'll try.
You got it.
I'm gonna try. It was the same thing when I started. It was the same thing when I started Zumba. I was like, I would never post myself dancing. Literally took me like a whole year to be like, all right, I gotta post something to let people know what they're getting. And then the first time I did, I was like, oh, this is fun. I could add my kids. I don't know, but the talking thing, I don't know.
It's that next step, right? Like what is
it's that next step,
right? So that's the next step out of the comfort zone.
Right.
Yeah.
Every time you come on, I was like, oh, maybe I should jot down what Tamara saying. Kind of like flip it and
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll definitely try that. Well, that's what's been on my head this whole week. Like I gotta like come on and say something because people are interested.
They are.
You know?
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's my thing this week.
Very good goal.
Yeah.
Very good goal. Anyone else have a goal for the week?
I do.
Cool.
It's the same thing. Only I'm more of a Facebook person, and I was gonna say that too. Facebook seems to be, just because I'm older, so a lot of my friends who are older, they understand Facebook. Facebook was out first before Instagram, so they just seem to get Facebook. So, but I have never, well, I shouldn't say I've never. The first time I did a Facebook Live was in the intermittent fasting group. I had done one a year and a half ago, but I'm a big chicken. I don't know why. I'll do a video, but then I'll put it on afterwards. It's always the first take anyways, but something about that live button. But I have somebody who's now threatening me to do one, so I'm going to attempt to do one. And I actually watched a woman who was I guess she was a personal trainer, and I think she was early 50s or late 40s or something, and she was just explaining how she became a personal trainer, and I was actually quite interested in it, and she sort of had the same kind of journey I did, and I thought, I wonder if anybody'd want to hear that. Not because to me, I'm like, then you sound, in my opinion, I sound like I don't know, conceited, or I don't know. But on the other side of the coin, there will be a lot of women and men that maybe were fit in their 20s, like I was, lost it in their 30s and 40s, and want to get back to it in their 50s. And that's sort of what I wanted to talk about. I just hitting that live button freaks me out.
No, do it.
You do it. Margot, seriously, I'm gonna share Emily's call, and then she's gonna say how to get like the emotions of other people. So how to do like this storytelling. It was really cool how she shared, because she never really shared that. She shared that she lost 50 pounds. But actually on her call, she shared how the wake up call for her. That was like, she was on a ski trip with her friends, and she was in the ski hill and in the bunny hill, and she was 50 pounds overweight. She was 21 years old, and she got stuck on the magic carpet, and she couldn't pull herself up because she was just like so heavy. So that was like, oh my goodness, I need to do something about it. So her friends took off for the day. They went skiing, and she went to the chalet, and she like drank her face off. So basically that was her wake up call. So maybe you find there in your story where kind of like you start letting yourself go. Maybe when you start having kids, and then you just got busy and this and that, She said that that's where people connect. Sharing the emotional story that people are going to say, oh my goodness, that happened to me too. And so I'm going to share, because her call was freaking amazing. I'm going to share because I was like, is it the recording now? I was trying to reproduce what she said, but like, yeah, you need to hear from her. So I'm going to share as soon as we finish here on our chat. Listen to that and go do your post. Make your post based on that, because it's like, oh my goodness, that's it. That's it. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Emily.
Well, yeah, definitely got to try.
Yeah,
like what,
I know.
Like what, what's her name? I forgot her name. Carolee? Is she on? I don't know if she's on here.
Coralie?
Coralie.
Yeah,
That post
she's not on this morning.
That post that she put, I was like, that took so much gut.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Come
that
on.
was an amazing one.
I watched the whole thing, and I hate long videos, and I watched the whole thing because I was so like captured, like, wow. Now, that was amazing. Like,
she has a powerful
I didn't even know
story.
anything about
That.
Huh?
She has a very powerful story.
Yeah, that was very powerful. I was so proud of her, so amazed. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I do find.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I do find, like, from the WhatsApp chat that people are discouraged or they're not getting, points or whatever. But it's funny because, and you guys have taught us this the whole time, but I haven't done a live yet, but I am posting a lot more. I'm posting the food I eat. I'm posting the workouts I do in the boardroom at the office. I'm posting my own workouts with old school 70s rock behind it, because that's my age group of people. And I just keep doing it. People who don't want to follow me or don't like it,
Bye-bye.
they'll go. But it's funny because I am finding that I'm trying to post every day, and I do want to find, and I know it's somewhere, there's a chart or a recommended posting schedule. And I is that on the to-do sheet, the tracker? Like, I don't know how many times, like, do I post one time on Facebook a day, or do I post 2 times? Like, what's going to be too overwhelming?
Okay.
Or what? Especially Facebook for me.
Here's my experience on Facebook. On Facebook, I find if I post every day, my engagement goes down. I think people get overwhelmed and are like, oh, there she is again. And so they don't really pay attention to it. That's my experience on Facebook. So I aim for like 4 to 5 times a week on Facebook. The other thing I think is a really cool thing to do on Facebook is, instead of posting like a post, do one of those like colorful ones with a question on it, like you've done before, right? So maybe on Wednesdays you aim to do one of those. Sundays are super powerful days. Thursdays are super powerful days. So those ones I would kind of save for like an actual post. But maybe on a Wednesday or a Friday, you do one of those like ask a question posts, because it will bring engagement to your page. But my experience on Facebook is like 4 to 5 times a week max. Otherwise, people just they don't actually see anything, or they just are like, yeah, okay, there she is again. That would be my recommendation.
How do you tell?
I notice when I post regularly on Facebook, when I post 7 days a week, I just notice my number of likes and comments go way down. When I post the 3 to 5 times a week, my likes and comments stay high. So that's just my own observations, right? So I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen for everyone, but that's been my personal experience. So I no longer put the pressure on myself to post every single day.
Marco, can I interrupt a little bit?
Yeah, of course.
What has happened is, like, what we share on the stories on Instagram, I don't know what happened, but like on Facebook, people are watching. Sometimes I have like 80 views on my stories on Facebook. So it's something that people are getting used to it. So just go for the stories on Instagram, because I'm getting more engagement there, because I'm also talking more as now. And I'm getting a lot of people on Facebook. It's crazy. I was like, oh, they want to see my life. Okay.
I know. And I agree with you, Tamara. And it would be awesome. And I have no idea if any of you guys know how to find this out, but literally, I think I've got like 4,200 crazy like friends on Facebook, which are not friends. They've requested me, whatever. It's been that whole gathering up your people or your viewers or whatever. But I know for a fact that when you post a video, not 4,000 people see it. How do you find who sees what? And is there a way to get into the inner workings and see how many people actually Facebook shows? Or do you have to buy ads, or what? Do you know?
No, I've seen a lot more. When I look on Facebook now, I've actually seen like, sometimes I'll see someone's post and it'll say like insights underneath of it. And I don't know why some of them show that and some of them don't.
I wonder if they bought
scrolling, but
the spot.
I'm just scrolling, and there's even the sponsored ones aren't showing that. Maybe it's on my phone that is showing it. So you would only be able to check. You would only really be able to honestly check insights and things like that on your business page, because
Right.
we're not posting on our personal page to sell, otherwise we're going to get our account shut down, right? It's that our personal pages aren't supposed to be used like that. You're supposed to use a business Facebook like page.
Is that right? Because people
Yeah.
do that all the time.
No, I know
All
they
the
do it
time.
all the time, but it's I think if their page was constantly like, if I constantly put up Shakeology and was like, you should buy this, you should buy this, you should buy this, someone could report my page, and then my page would get shut down and they would tell me to use my Facebook business page, right? So if someone's only ever posting, like candles, Scentsy candles, and not posting anything personal, then they are at risk of having their page shut down.
I do have a business page, Be Fit Forever, but I've been basically ignoring it because I think I've got 300 or 400 people, 300 and some odd likes on there. But even them, I don't think they don't see it.
No. So I don't even look at our Facebook business page, and we have I don't even know how many.
It doesn't work anymore. In the past, Margot, some top coaches in the company, in the past, they're not even top coaches anymore, but they've been. And they had their business on Facebook page. Bonnie Engle is one of them. Yeah.
It seems
doesn't work anymore.
It might, though, although it might turn around again, because I have heard Facebook change things and now they've got a bunch of ads, which they do. I see that. But maybe they'll be a little bit more generous with their opening your page up to more views if their ads get seen as well. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it'll switch around.
I don't know. Or maybe
but
they
want
to
thing.
They want to do TikTok and Facebook like Instagram did Reels. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
Company. Facebook owns Instagram, so it's the same company, right? So,
Tamara, I had a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know the intermittent fasting group. I do completely agree with you that, and this is where I said in my little WhatsApp chat to all of you, we know so much more than we think we know. I can tell you that right now. And Tamara, even Tamara, I think when we created this intermittent fasting group and Tamara posted the videos, which were freaking amazing, but people just don't know. They just don't know. And so don't overthink maybe what you think everybody knows, because they don't. And you're right, Tamara, with this intermittent fasting, basically it's like not eating at a certain time, going to bed. Well, you're not going to eat while you're sleeping, getting up and eating starting your food at a certain time. So there is no brain surgery here. I work with the neuroscientists. This is quite easy, but we've given it a word, intermittent fasting. And so it's now sort of a buzz thing. So I think there's room, Tamara, for an intermittent fasting group. Hear me out before, almost every month, but each one of us could create one. But Tamara, I don't know, I've got to listen to your videos again because they were really, really good. And I just thought if there's a way, if those ones will work, I have to listen to them again. And they're not really date stamped, so we can just pull them and use them.
Recycle.
And we can all create recycle. So we can all create our own little intermittent fasting groups with 10 people in them or 8 people, and just throw Tamara's videos in there. Tamara, you don't have to do anything with it.
You have to just get the extension for I use Chrome, and there's like an extension for Chrome that you can download videos right from Facebook. So you can't do it from a phone or an iPad. You can only do it on a computer. So just giving you the heads up.
Okay, so next year. No.
When you have your computer back, you'll be able to do it. Because you can't take a video from one group and put it into another group. It would link it to the other group, and then they would need permission to get in that group.
Oh, I see.
You have to download the video to your computer and upload it into the group that you want to use.
Yeah.
Or download it and upload it to an unlisted YouTube link, so that you can use that YouTube link over and over and over again without having to upload.
Yeah. So it's like your videos that you have constantly on your page that we send people to hear how to be an emerald, how to be, like, they're static videos. I'm just thinking that if I'll listen back to the videos that you did. And maybe if they're sort of dates down to, like, if you're saying, I know you said I'm walking to school and all that stuff. So it doesn't really matter. The information is the information. And I could even say in my little group, you know, these videos were done by our coach in a group we did a month ago or a couple months ago, but they're amazing. This is amazing information. So I'm posting them in this group or whatever. But I do feel like intermittent fasting is kind of the new keto right now, the new buzzword. So yeah. I think we can attract more people just even with that. For my Rocktober group, I'm going to add in the intermittent fasting.
I think Melissa McAllister is actually pushing Beachbody to have an intermittent fasting nutrition program. So I just know there isn't money in telling people not to eat. Right? That's what it is. That's why there's great authors and great books out there, but when you tell people not to eat, you know, it's crazy. And then it's crazy to me to like that lady that you were mentioning, Margot, about how I've been doing it for a few days now and I don't feel any difference. And I've been focusing on keeping myself under 1,200 calories a day. I'm like, well, you have no metabolism anymore whatsoever. So no wonder you're not seeing any results. And if you just hop from one thing to another and don't actually give your body a chance to see if it even likes that system, how do you expect it to work? Nothing's ever going to work that way. So she now needs to speed up her metabolism and give the fasting a try, but whether or not she will. So I did kind of a tough love video in the group for those that are in there, just on, I'm sorry, but don't expect this to work overnight, because it's not going to work overnight. And if you're living a calorie restricted life, then you need to wait. You need to put in the time to speed up your metabolism now, because your body is saying, oh, you just ate 1,201 calories. So I'm going to make sure that those extra 3 calories are now stored as fat. Right? So I
thought that was the timing of that video right after I sent you that message was hilarious, but I don't even know if she watched it or not. And it was quite funny. Just for the rest of you that are on here, a woman reached out, just like Tamara said, and after 3 days she said, I'm going to try it for the next 2 days before I decide that it just doesn't work. And I'm like, okay, yeah, 5 days, you know, it's
way to go, Rockstar. Like, way to give it a chance, right? I don't know. That's like someone doing the first 5 days
that
of
we
21.
Lose weight, right? That's the time.
5 days of 21-day fix, and wow, what you lost 12 pounds already?
Let's tell Autumn. Let's do the 5-day Autumn. The 5-day fix.
It doesn't work. She needs like the keto drink then, right? Like she's looking for the pills and she's not looking to put the actual time.
She's looking for the wrap.
Oh my gosh, that wrap, that I still want to find that video of that lady who do you remember when, I know this is such a tangent right now, but when It Works first launched and all you saw on Instagram was It Works and the wraps? That's it. Like, that's all you saw. Was anytime you scrolled, it was like every other post was a wrap lady. And Clarissa and I came across this lady that did a YouTube video on, she was like, I'm gonna go, I need to try out this new craze about these wraps. So I'm going down to the Walmart and I'm gonna get myself some of that wrap, that plastic wrap, that great value wrap, and I'm gonna wrap it. So I wrapped that wrap around my body, and then I got my hair dryer out, and I was drying my body, and I was just sweating like crazy. I'm sure I must have lost a couple pounds. And like, she just went on and on about this great value wrap that she got from Walmart. It was so funny. But that's what somebody like that wants, is they want the
quick fix,
right? The quick fix, and it just doesn't work. I had a lady, oh my gosh, a lady messaged me. So what I've been doing is I actually had to Streak change. So for those of you that were looking into Google Streak to use it, I don't know if I would recommend anymore because it's not free. It's free if you only want to have 200 boxes or send up to a maximum of 50 emails a day. Well, I send like 250 emails on a Sunday. So what was I going to do? Like open up a whole bunch of Gmail accounts and move people around? So So on our free to be, the one I use to email you all every week, I paid to have the upgrade on it. And so with that, what I started doing was emailing all of our free customers that I have in Streak, because we have almost 500 of them, the weekly check-in. So I get this email back from this lady who, she is a free customer, but she obviously just did the 14-day free trial. And she wants to, she had bought, what do you call it? The bariatric, that thing.
Surgery.
The surgery, what do you call it?
Yeah, bariatric surgery, or
Yeah.
they sleeve, or
Yeah, so she had the surgery.
Gastro something.
Yeah, that's it. So she had the surgery. So she emails me this. I had the surgery, but I've been in such a depression, and I've started putting back on the weight. And if you can help me with anything, with any of this, I would really love to chat with you. So I had arranged on Thursday night to call her after, when I was out driving to go get my kids after Zumba. So we're on the phone. Clarissa doesn't even know this story. We're on the phone. Right away, I knew as soon as she answered the phone, I was like, okay, she's not kidding. She's not into this at all. And I said to her, so I am going to email her today with like a couple of links. But I said to her, you need to focus on like one or two things at a time, not adding everything in. She is still overweight. She's not active. She's like, I know that I should be active. I know that I'm not eating enough calories. So we talked about calorie reduction, like what happens when your metabolism slows down. We talked about water intake, but then I mentioned to her, if you really want to make these changes, and her name's Paula, if you really want to make these changes, Paula, you got to work on your mindset. So I can send you a free book. And she went on to tell me that she doesn't believe in that hoity-toity personal development stuff. And I was like, well, sorry, like you're not going to get to your goals then. Like I just basically said to her, that's where you need to start. You need to start on your head and your water intake, and do that for 3 weeks. That's it. Do that. Commit to that for 3 weeks, because she's like talking to me about how she's in such a depression. And I was just like, nothing is going to change unless you work on this first. Like, it's just not. But she's not interested at all in that. So I was just like, oh my gosh, how you cannot even be open. If you are in a depression, you've had that whatever surgery, you're gaining weight and freaking out about it. How can you not be open to personal development? Like, that's the only missing component. She's like, I know it's fitness. I know it's nutrition. I'm like, everyone knows that. It's not rocket science. Like, I could ask a 4-year-old, how do you be healthy? And they would be like, you would eat good food and you would exercise. Like, everyone knows that. It's not rocket science. So it's just so interesting to me how so many of them get up here. And that's where I'm tying back in. I know it's a tangent, but to Margot's lady, it's all up here, right? She wants the quick fix, and it's not going to happen until she gets ready to make that. Like, maybe send her You Are a Badass or the 5-second rule.
Yeah. I've had other people too. It's funny. I'll be posting. I've had a few people that have followed me for like a year and say they're going to do it. And then I'm doing keto. I changed my mind. I'm doing keto. And then other people saying I'm doing the ideal protein, or an ideal protein, if you've ever heard of it, is something like a drink that you drink, but you eat 500 calories or something for like, and you do lose weight. Like you do lose weight, but as soon as you go back to eating regular food, it comes right back on again quite quickly, actually.
So is it the same
so
as
it's funny how
right?
I don't know. I know you can buy it at Cloverdale Pharmacy or.
I just mean in the sense that that was one of the first ones. Have 2 shakes a day and then have your dinner, right? And then that turned into
But it's funny
that turned into isogenics, and then that turned into, right? It doesn't work.
But the people they say like this one woman, she says, I'm gonna do ideal protein because it worked for me before, and I so wanted to say, obviously it didn't, because you're doing it again. So for people that are doing what we're doing, they typically don't have to do something again, because we're already doing the thing and we've been doing it for years. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like people that say it worked for me, but then they're looking for something else. It didn't work. Otherwise you wouldn't be looking for something else. Anyway, sorry, I get on a tangent too.
No, but I'm with you. It's frustrating, right? And it makes me like bash my head. I feel like I'm bashing my head against the wall. I'm like, really? really, like, just do it. You know, one of my good friends messaged me the other day because she checked in with me on my client check-in form saying, like, you know, she's exhausted, and the only time she'd be able to work out would be early in the morning, and that's not going to happen because now the kids' schedules are back. And I was like, it's all excuses. It's all excuses, right?
How
And
bad
so,
do you want it? How
yeah,
bad do you
if you
want it?
don't,
Okay, then you don't.
so I suggested, okay, could you commit to 2 mornings a week out of 5? Just 2, like do Tuesday, Thursday, and then work out on the weekend, so that you can have your, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday where you're not waking up early, super early. And I got back like, I love you, but I'm not adding something else to my plate right now. And I'm like, well, then that's your choice. Like,
That's
so
your choice.
don't, you can't beat yourself up. If you're not willing to show up for yourself for it, then you have to accept it.
Yeah.
Right? Just accept it then. That's fine. But then don't check in with me saying, like, I need help with motivation. Like, sorry, I'm not coming to set your alarm clock and haul your ass out of bed. Just get out of bed. Right? And it's that sort of stuff that I bash my head against the wall. I've been getting up at 4:45 every fucking day. Like, you want to cry on my shoulder about how you're tired and now the kids have activities? Like, come on. That's not going to happen. You're going to get some tough love from me then. So
Can I just interject something?
yeah, of course, please do.
So I think some of you guys know I'm doing a course called Precision Nutrition. And so that's kind of where I've been for the last month, is studying my little heart out on that. One of the things, because they talk really about habits, and habits have to be started, and you have to build from them from the very beginning, which we probably all know that. But they talk about giving your clients a habit that you help them come up with it, but it has to be something they feel they can do a 9 out of 10. So it has to be so simple that they think they can commit to a 9 out of 10 on doing it. So I'm working with a client right now, and exercise is something she needs to do. I said, do you think you could work out twice a week? Do you think you could commit to that 90% of the time, twice a week? And she's like, yeah, I can do that. So that's sort of one of my tips, is just to work with these people. And it could be so completely basic to us, but that might be just enough for them to focus on. So it's kind of that 90% habit rule. And then once they've done that for 2 weeks, then you can build on another habit that they could do for 90%. Maybe that's drinking the water. But for us to say exercise, drink your water, go to bed on time, would just be overload for somebody that's just trying to get into a better habit pattern.
100%. It's just like New Year's resolutions, right, Max? Where
Yeah,
we make these lists of 10, 20 things that we want to do for the year, and then fail at all of them and at the same time would never expect another human to do all of those things, right? Like, we have
right.
massive, I saw this great post the other day where the person took, like, say your Instagram square, right? And they put a massive circle around it and colored in the circle and pointed to the circle and said, what we expect of ourselves, and then had this tiny little dot in the middle of the circle with an arrow to it and said what we can realistically do. Right? And it was so interesting to me to be like, why do we do that? Why do we expect this of ourselves, but never expect that? Like, I would never expect that of any other human, and then beat ourselves up about it. So yeah, I really love that. And I loved learning when I took my life coaching course about how the actual 21 days for a habit is not true. That came from a study in the 1970s where it was people that had a nose job done, and it took 21 days for them to recognize their new nose as their new nose. So an actual habit that is fully ingrained in our bodies is like 60 plus days. It's 3 months solid of building on that habit. So even what Max is saying there, like, yeah, you can focus on 2 workouts a week for 2 weeks, but then the next thing you add on cannot be massive, right? Otherwise, that whole foundation that they're still building on to become habit is gonna crumble. So, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. We need to Clarissa, you need to come back so we can do a picture. And I know we missed Ashley, so I'll have to do a little dancing person in the corner because she had to sign off. And I don't know if Angie's coming off, but we like your Empower Squad. Margot, smile.
I'm not coming on, so you can take a picture of that.
That's totally fine. I did. You're pointing at the Empower Squad. So it's all good. Anyone else? Any questions or things you want us to go over this morning? Good.
Okay, I posted the recording, Emily's recording, so go watch it. And everyone should come up with an amazing post for today. Crush end of the month goals.
Sounds good. All right, ladies, have a good one. Chat with you soon.